confusion. Yung announcement kasi is sent blast. So, hindi ko na na-edit. After this day, probably tomorrow or later, ipopost ko na po yung activity nyo kasi I want to make sure na ma-discuss po muna lahat before we do an activity, syempre. Para di naman, lugi, di ba? So, let me just pull up my notes. 1 second. Sensya na medyo mahina ang internet sa faculty. I just want to remind also, pag may activity for quizzes, please make sure na i-check na talaga yung mga instructions, gano'n, especially yung like format. Pag sinend nyo yung um, pag sinend nyo yung file mismo, dapat maayos yung format or um, another thing is yung mga content mismo. So, yun po. Kasi may mga activities na ako. Pero sa ibang subjects naman yan, that they're not really checking yung content nila. Kaya, minsan 3 out of 15 lang. And syempre, totality naman ng quizzes nyo is like, quizzes, activities is, di ba, sa class standing 60% po yun. So, check na lang din. So, yun lang naman, reminders. Any other questions? May concerns po ba before we start? Wala naman?
None so far.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, let's go ahead and start our lesson. By the way, prelim will cover 3 lessons po. So now, today we will just discuss one. And then on the next meeting, we'll discuss lesson 2 and 3. And then after that is the prelim exam week. So that's October 19 to 22. Okay, so after this, meron again activity po and then probably next week yung quiz. Or I'll check kung saan yung coverage ng quiz. Pwede rin sa asynchronous natin ng Monday. So, yun. Basta I'll post naman everything on LMS so that you'll be informed. And every post naman or every quizzes that we'll be giving, nanonotify naman kayo sa LMS. So, yun lang. We'll go ahead and start so that if we finish early, I'll give you the extra time. Okay, so the first one is what is art? Introduction and assumptions. So, can anyone please read this first slide, please? Yes, Magallanes.
The word art comes from the ancient Latin ars, which means a craft or a specialized form of skill. Art then suggested the capacity to produce an intended result from carefully planned steps or method. In ancient world they defined art by using bare hands only to produce something that will be useful to our everyday life.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, in ancient Latin, that is the word ars, meaning craft or specialized form of skill. So during that time, probably around the Ice Age era, kung napanood niyo rin yung Ice Age na movie, di ba, wala pa silang kahit ano, they're just wearing yung parang skin ng animals, and then they have no tools. So for them, art is the form or the thing that makes you or the things that you can make that you can use for your skill. So for example, gumagawa sila ng di ba ng spear or yung pangpatay nila sa isda kapag mangingisda sila or parang pangpatay din sa hayop ganoon or pwedeng gumagawa ng palakol out of bato and sticks. So that's one of the four examples of art during that ancient Latin era. Okay? And then next is in the medieval period. And someone please read the slide. Yes,
Ars
Innocente.
in medieval Latin came to mean something different. It meant any special form of a book learning, such as grammar or logic, magic, or
Okay, thank you.
astrology.
So this time in the medieval period, it is form of book learning. So anything that is parang studios related, anything na you learn via just reading or through writing, that's one of the examples of art during the medieval times. So if you're good at astrology, studying about the stars and the sun and all that, and especially logic and grammar, that's one of the forms of art during the medieval period. Now, we now go to the Renaissance. Can someone please read the slide? Yes, Jian?
It was during the 17th century when the idea of aesthetic worship.
Okay, thank you. Siguro may something about the connection, but thank you so much, Jian. So yeah, at this time it's already in the Renaissance period. It was during around the 17th century, and they're focused on the idea of aesthetic or the study of beauty. So if you can see here on my screen, we have here the sample arts during the Renaissance period. So this is the infamous Mona Lisa, and then here is a sample of an artwork during the Renaissance, which is, di ba kung makikita niyo sa mga old churches or old buildings, meron talaga silang mga painted artworks at the ceilings. So this is one of the examples during the Renaissance. So yun nga, the main focus of the art during the Renaissance is the idea of aesthetic. And then during the 18th century, um, the word has evolved to distinguish between the fine arts and the useful arts. Fine arts would come to mean beautiful arts, which is something more similar to what is now considered art. So, fine arts, it's actually more of the creative art, especially visual art, whose products are, appreciated primarily for their imaginative, aesthetic, and intellectual content. So, here is one of the examples of paintings during the 18th century. As you can see, may changes na siya from just having a portrait to now having like a little bit of a story dun sa mismong art nila. Diba? It's not just the aesthetic itself, but also the content of the artwork or the paintings. All right. Then next is, can someone please read this slide? Anyone? Yes, Rivera.
The humanist humanities constitute one of the oldest and most important means of expression developed by man. Human history has witnessed how man evolved not just physically but culturally as well, from cave painters to men of paintbrush users
Okay,
of the
thank you.
present.
So yeah, humanities. It says that in humanities, it's not just the look of the painting itself, but it also expand our knowledge with regards to human cultures and helps us understand what binds us together and what differentiates us. So technically, the point is, sa human history, hindi lang po yung arts yung nakikita yung sa subject natin ngayon. Hindi lang arts yung nag-evolve, hindi lang yung mga tao mismo, but also the culture and how they live during those times. So if you can see this picture, this is an example of a cave painting that was discovered. So as you can see, diba, it's very kind of confusing. Ito mukhang horse, pero may iba na mukhang giraffe or parang group of horses sila. Or we have actually different paintings during the 18th century. different interpretations of this specific painting. So for this one, um, this proves that it's not just the the beauty of the art. It's not just one way of expressing the emotions, but also the history or the story behind this painting. So right now, sobrang tinatreasure natin yung mga ganitong paintings. But sorry. But it's not just the painting itself, but also the story behind it. So malay mo, ito pala yung time na na hinabol sila or nakakita sila ng maraming horses at that time. Or pwede rin na at that time meron silang hinant na horse or may war na nangyayari dahil ito mo may red to or parang that serves as blood. So maraming interpretation about it. And it also helps us, formulate an idea of what the paintings or ano kaya yung message ng painting na yan. Ganun. So yun nga, ito yung pinaka which is it's not just the expression of feelings and thoughts but also the history, and it serves as a record also that is very helpful in history as well. All right, now there are actually three assumptions of art. So when you say assumptions, these are like the misconceptions or parang ano ba yung sa tingin nila or sa tingin ng ibang tao ay meaning or definition or mga points under art. So the first one is art is universal. Can someone please read this slide?
Art has always been timeless and universal, spanning generation and continents through and through. In every country and in every generation, there is always art. It has been crafted by all people regardless of origin, time, place, and it stayed on because it is liked and enjoyed by people continuously. Art will always be present because human beings will always express themselves and delight in this expression.
So in this specific assumption, they're saying that art is universal, meaning parang one type of art or one specific craft lang ang you know created ng iba. Or parang for example, yung European paintings like these paintings. So tingin niyo ba gagawin to ng Pinoy or parang ano bang magandang term? Sa tingin mo ba ito ay alam mo yun, ma-adapt ng Pinoy? 'Di ba? Kasi art is actually not universal because as you know, kahit naman sa tao, we do have our individual differences. We do have individual unique characteristics. So it's not just a certain art that can be rampant to, pero yung uniqueness kasi na yon, yung identity ng isang artwork, it's not just to not just to i-show na isang art lang or isang way of art lang yung nakikita natin. So my point is appreciated yung art na or kunwari dito sa Pilipinas. But it is not something that would identify us Filipinos in terms of the artworks or classification of art that we're doing. Alright? So I'm sorry, medyo distracting lang kasi dito sa faculty namin. Mukha kami mga nagmimineski. Wala kami mga pangit ng ano namin ganyan, ng itsura ng faculty namin. So, next is the second assumption, which is art is not nature. Can someone please read? Yes, the
Art
Guzman?
is not nature. Art is man's expression of his reception of nature. It is man's way of interpreting nature. Art is not nature, it is made by man, whereas nature is a given around us. What we find in nature should not be expected to be present in art too. It is based on individual
Okay, thank you.
subjective.
So this is one of the assumptions in art, which is art is not nature. So, at some point, parang medyo na-supported kasi itong assumption na to. Kasi, kunyari, nature is God-given, di ba? So, pag bata ka pa lang may nature na may mga bodies of water, may mga plants, lahat, nature. God-given. But art, it is man-made, wherein tayo mismo yung gumagawa nun. So, you cannot compare um, nature, the beauty of nature to one's art just because our basis is an existing God-given feature. So, an example, hindi mo pwedeng i-expect na yung isang artist ay gumawa ng isang art na kasing perfect or kasing katulad mismo ng nature. There can be replicas, there can be inspirations, but not necessarily an exact replica of that. Another point of this assumption is yung nature kasi is existing na nga, di ba? But the art, it's actually product of artist's imagination. So, hindi siya nag-exist until the artist creates it. So, that's the difference between the nature and art na dapat hindi talaga sila pinagko-compare or that you're expecting the same results from art or an artist and nature. And then if you can see this picture, can you tell me your idea about it? Anyone? The elephant and the blind man. So you can look at this picture and then tell me what is your idea or what is your opinion about this?
You'd notice po,
Yes, Magallanes.
sabi dyan, the elephant and the blind man. So, mga bulag sila. So, they don't have the ability to see. So, kung ano man po yung nahawakan nila o nararamdaman nila. So, kung ano yung prior knowledge nila dun sa nahawakan nila, which is their primary siguro sense po, na yun nga, padama. So, kung ano yung perception nila sa bawat ganong klase ng hugis or nararamdaman nila, doon na nila ina-associate yun kasi nga hindi naman nila nakikita. So, parang naipabase din po yung art doon na kung paano mo siya iti-take.
Okay,
So,
thank you. That's a good point. So yes, that is actually the explanation of this one. And it's not necessarily na ano kasi sila na yes, they are blind as per the picture, but another analogy on that is they're just limiting this yung idea nila so kung ano yung prior knowledge na meron sila. So kahit nakakita sila, kung ang view mo ay nandito ka lang dito sa side ng guy na to, if you can see this elephant's chow, may isip mo na, ay, ano yan, spear yan, nakakatakot yan. Person na yun, if you look at the bigger picture, nakikita mo na elephant siya. So, the point is, nalilimit tayo sa kung ano lang yung subjective or sa experience natin, and they could only see what they already believe to be true. So, yun nga, the moral kasi of this picture is to encourage people to develop their perspective awareness. So kasi kung di ba ito lang nakikita niya, pero kung dito siya tumingin sa kabilang side, di nakita niya rin yung perspective ng iba, di ba? So that's actually the point of this image per se. And that's one of the great example that is that it is really subjective to experience or kung ano yung pinaniniwalaan natin or kung ano lang yung alam nating totoo. Okay pa? And then next assumption, it involves experience. So can someone please read? Yes, Sunga?
Art evolves. For most people, art does not require a full definition. Art is just experience. By experience, we mean that actual doing of something. If one is if one is to know art, he must know it not as fact or information, but as
Okay, thank you.
experience.
So the assumption is art involves experience. So let me ask you this. Kung dati ako hindi ako marunong mag-drawing, but you are a professional, you know, magaling ka mag-drawing. You can do portraits, you can do sketches of houses and stuff. So, masasabi mo ba sa akin or is it right to tell me na wala akong alam or hindi ko maintindihan yung drawing mo just because I don't know how to draw? Anyone?
Sorry, paulit-ulit. Sorry.
Alright, so for example, ako hindi ako marunong mag-drawing. Tapos ikaw, magaling ka mag-drawing, nakakapag-drawing ka ng portrait, ganun. Sobrang galing mo sa drawing, ganyan. Yun na, hindi ko naiintindihan yung art just because hindi ako marunong mag-drawing. Yes, Quintana?
Hindi po, ma'am. Just because po there's, we have different perspective po. Kaya pwede po nating i-define yung art niya sa,
Okay, thank you. That's a good point. Yes,
Hindi
Sakla?
po, kasi lahat naman po nagsisimula sa mga basic lang. So, pwede rin po turuan or pwede rin po na mag-share mo kung paano po yung tama or dapat gawin.
Okay, thank you. Well, that's a good point, and thank you for sharing your thoughts. So yes, the assumption is it involves experience, but sa totoo lang, hindi naman po kailangan ng experience just for us to understand and to analyze itself. Or for example, yung drawing. Hindi naman po hindi ako marunong mag-drawing is hindi ko na maintindihan yung story or yung emotion na ipinakita mo on your artwork. Same as sa different crafts. Kunyari, ikaw sumasayaw ka, hindi ako marunong kumanta. Eh, hindi ko na naiintindihan yung emotion na pinoportray mo while singing. 'Di ba? So, yun po yung one of the things na mapapatunayan natin hindi naman kailangan or mali itong assumption na to na art involves experience. Another point on this assumption is in order to know what an artwork is, sorry for the typo, we have to sense it, see or hear it. One fully gets acquainted with art if he immerses himself into it. It is subjective. So yun nga po, yun yung sinasabi natin kanina na hindi naman kailangan talaga na gawin mo or hindi kailangan mag-drawing ka muna para maintindihan mo. It is really the, how would you analyze, how would you interpret yung artwork itself para maintindihan mo siya or para madama mo yung emotions na binuhos ng artist dun sa artwork na yun. And then another is an important aspect of experiencing art is being highly personal, individual, and subjective. And art is always a value of judgment. So first, yun nga, as what Quintana said, iba-iba naman po tayo ng point of view, and we have different crafts or different art that we're pursuing. Okay pa. And then it depends on who the perceiver is, his tastes, his biases, and what he has inside him. One cannot argue with another person's valuation of art because one's experience can never be known by another. So, for this one, ano ba sa tingin niyo yung iba pang form of art aside from drawing, singing, and dancing? Yes.
Bigyan ng po ko ng sa pumpo, pag susulatan ko lang. That's one form of art.
Yeah. Yes, filmmaking because that's also part of kind of a talent. Yes, Sapla? acting. Yes, that's correct. That's also one of the example of art that we have.
Photography
Also,
po.
yes, tacos. Yes, photography. Thank you. Yes, that's one of the art that we're pursuing right now, and sobrang dami nang pursue nito kahit phones lang yung gamit nila, diba? So, yun nga, hindi lang siya nalilimit sa kung alam mo, and hindi mo din pwedeng i-judge na, um, you know, hindi mo siya pwedeng i-judge based on sa bias. Ano ka, theater actress ka. Tapos, nanood ka ng dance showdown. Mali ba na sabihin mo, di mo nagustuhan yung sayaw? Again, theater actress ka, tapos nanood ka ng dance showdown, tapos nung yung isang contestant na panood mo, hindi mo nagustuhan. So, mali ba na sabihin mong pangit yung sayaw niya? Anyone? Yes?
Um, Kagaya po dito, sabi niya na depends who the perceiver is. So, for me, hindi mali yung sasabihin mo mali, pangit yung naging niya. Kasi, depende yan sa nakakakita. Depende yan sa perceiver
Yes, exactly. So yeah,
nakaka-receive.
hindi mali yung opinion niya. Kasi, yun nga, it depends on who is, sino yung nakakakita nung art piece mo. Ang mag-matter lang dyan is on how you'll say it. And of course, it needs to be in a respectful way. Kasi syempre, everyone has their own crafts. And ikaw din, entitled ka din sa kung ano yung sa tingin mo ay maganda or pangit sa paningin mo. But make sure that it will be in a
Sorry
respectful
po,
way.
additional lang.
Of course.
Parang yung
Yes,
kung
Magallanes?
kasabihan na the beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Parang ganun po.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, that's what we can associate with this point on the assumption of that the art involves experience. I believe this is the last one. Can anyone please read this one? This is the last point in art involves experiences. Anyone? Yes, Magallanes?
Is accompanied by some emotion. With experience comes emotions and feelings after all. Feeling and emotions are concrete that
Okay, thank you. So, yun nga, this
the
is
artwork has been experienced.
subjective. So, of course, may kanya-kanya tayong take on art, especially if it involves emotion. So, most of the time, yun nga, may mga taong makakaintindi ng emotion or ng context behind the artwork, whether it is singing, dancing, photography, or even makeup. Diba? May kanya-kanya tayong take doon. And of course, most of the time, pag art, it comes with emotion and feelings. So, example, pag upset ka, magaling ka sumayaw, tas, diba, at that day, upset ka. So, malamang gagawin mo is you'll dance until pagod ka na. Or kung kumakanta ka, kakanta ka ng, alam mo yung mga mga birit na kanta, like mga gusto ko nang bumitaw by Morissette, mga ganyan. Just for you to be able to release that emotion. But, hindi lang naman siya stress reliever, kasi kapag nag-perform ka naman, you can also feel the emotion through the performance. So, kung kumakanta ka, di makikita mo, di ba minsan nakakaiyak pa yung kanta kasi nafe-feel mo yung buong emotion niya through the song. Or kung sa sayaw, interpretative dance siya. So, kahit walang salitang sinabi, pero nakita mo kung paano sila gumalaw, you'll know kung ano yung emotions na binibigay nila sa audience. So, bottom line is, art itself is subjective and no one can, judge you or give you inappropriate comments just because they don't understand or just because you're not in the same forte or art. Okay pa? So, yes, those are the assumptions of art. Those are the three assumptions of art, and this is the introduction. On the next lesson, we'll also discuss the last two lessons that is included in the preliminary exams. So after this, probably later in the evening, I'll provide the activity and I'll check kung ano yung coverage ng first quiz. So kung covered niya is lesson 1, and then I'll go ahead and give that to you. But of course, lahat naman po ng announcement will be posted sa LMS. So do you have any questions or concerns? Clarification, violent reaction? Wala naman? Okay. So yun. If that's all, I'll just go ahead and take your attendance. I'll not call you one by one, but if you can, if kung mga pwedeng mag-open ng cam so that I can take a screenshot. Ayan. Yan, yung mga pwede lang. Okay, todo na ba yan? Okay lang. Basta yung mga pwedeng mag-open ng cam. Para... Okay, so I'll go ahead and take the screenshot in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, thank you. So yun lang. If you don't have any questions or concerns, I'll go ahead and let you bounce. Thank you for attending and see you next
Thank you
week.
po.
Julie,
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.